Hi, my name is Tara Cummings, and I'm your friendly neighborhood psychologist, and I'm bringing to you today a little bit of wellness wisdom. In life, particularly at this specific moment in history, you might find that you're often fraught with worrisome thoughts, uncomfortable feelings, and bothersome bodily sensations. It might go a little something like this. You're scrolling through your Facebook news feed, or you turn on the television and you see something and you think, this is an absolute disaster. We have to do something to fix this. We have to do something right now, except I'm just a regular person and there's nothing that I can do to fix it. And you experience a ton of anxiety and a sense of desperation and hopelessness and helplessness. Your muscles are super tense and you might have a headache and some upset stomach and your heart might be racing. You might find that your thoughts are very distracted and you become very inefficient in things. And sometimes it gets so much that we think, ugh, this is enough. This is too much. In fact, it's got to stop. I got to turn off the thoughts. I got to shut off the feelings. I got to shut down my body. And try as we might, typically, no dice. And here's why. Thinking thoughts, feeling feelings, and experiencing physical sensations, that's what humans do. We can't not do those things. We can't clip the wires on our internal experiences. And by being so hell-bent on preventing or eliminating, controlling, avoiding our internal experiences that aren't so comfortable, those thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations, we only add to our misery. We layer on top of it additional, unnecessary, undue suffering, because all of that shutting off and shutting down, controlling that we would really like to do of our internal experiences, it's impossible. It goes a little bit like this. So for the next few seconds, I want you to think about anything that you want. Imagine whatever you want. Picture whatever you want, except a pink elephant. Do not think about a pink elephant. Don't picture it. Don't imagine it. No pink elephants. You're clearly now thinking nothing but pink elephants. There's probably lots of them floating around my head. So now, not only are you thinking about the pink elephant that I forbade you from thinking about, you're also frustrated, embarrassed, annoyed, pissed off that you're thinking about the thing that you're not wanting to think about. So in a sense, you've now tied yourself to that pink elephant. You've strapped that pink elephant to your back, and you can't get rid of the pink elephant. The problem is not our uncomfortable thoughts, our unpleasant feelings, our distressing bodily sensations. That's just part of being human. The problem is our attempts to control, eliminate, and avoid our internal experiences. So if we want to do ourselves a favor, we need to embrace the pink elephant. The remedy for the problem of control is acceptance and willingness. Accept the presence, the existence of the pink elephant. Accept the presence when it rolls around, and be willing to experience all of the thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations that come along with the pink elephant. By exercising acceptance and willingness, we untether ourselves from our internal experiences, which allows those experiences to pass on their own in their own time. Thoughts, feelings, and sensation with willingness are free to come and to go, to ebb and to flow, instead of being strapped to our backs permanently, instead of really burrowing down into the quicksand of those internal experiences by attempting to control, eliminate, and avoid them. Which makes sense, right? Just let it be and let it go. But what does willingness actually look like? How exactly can we practice willingness to reduce all of that undue suffering that we're causing ourselves? And the answer lies in mindfulness, which is the practice of being fully present in this moment, fully engaged in the present moment. To be an active observer and experiencer of the right here and the right now, whatever those experiences might be in the right here and the right now. And so to be mindful, to start this practice of being mindful, all you really have to do is notice. Notice your internal experiences. Simply notice the thoughts, the feelings, and the sensations as they come and as they go. Don't judge or evaluate them. Don't try and do anything to them or do anything with them. Just notice. It looks a little bit like this. I'm noticing this achy throb in my left temple right here. I'm noticing the thought that all of my activisty efforts don't seem to be making any difference. I'm noticing a feeling of frustration and hopelessness. I'm noticing that the underwire of my bra is digging into my underboob. That's mindfulness. It's that simple. Notice that while we're noticing things, notice that I didn't judge myself or my internal experiences. I didn't try to push those experiences away. I simply noticed them and let them be. And in that way, I was less bothered by them. It wasn't that they weren't there, and it wasn't that they weren't uncomfortable, particularly that underwire thing. But I wasn't as bothered by it. I was able to kind of move past that, kind of go on, keeping on, even while having those unpleasant experiences. And notice that I named my internal experiences, the thought that, the feeling that. I didn't say, I am hopeless. I said, I'm feeling hopeless. Because if I say, I am hopeless, I end up fusing with that emotion. I end up defining myself by that feeling. When I tell myself I am helpless, what I'm saying is that helplessness is some permanent trait that I have that I can't shake and get rid of. It's who I am. And that's simply not the case. If I let it, hopelessness will come and it will go. But I have to be willing to experience it in order to really notice that sense that it's not always there. It does come and go. So if you'll bear with me, I'd like to practice a brief mindfulness activity because it does take practice to get into this. And like I said, mindfulness is being fully engaged in the present moment, in the right here and right now. And one thing that we're always doing in every single right here and right now is breathing. And we don't typically pay a lot of attention to it. It's an automatic thing that we do to survive. So a great way to practice mindfulness is to use your breathing as a part of that. So what I'd like to have you do is sit up tall, and get comfy in whatever chair or place that you're sitting. Plant your feet on the ground so you're steady. And I want you to just close your eyes or half close them if you're not comfortable fully closing them. You won't need to see me for this next part. And as you're closing your eyes, I just want you to follow along with what I'm going to ask you to do. So I want you to just breathe. Eyes closed, sitting in the chair, just breathe. You don't need to breathe in deeply or slowly or hold the breath or count the breaths. Simply breathe like normal. And pay attention to the sensation of breathing. Pay attention as you inhale to the sensation of the air moving in through your nostrils, down the back of your throat, filling your chest, your lungs, filling that little balloon underneath your rib cage on top of your belly. And then feel that deflating sense as you exhale and as the air moves back up and out and exits your body. And just keep breathing just like normal and pay attention to those sensations. You might notice that as you're breathing in, the air feels cold as it moves through your nostrils, maybe even a little tickly. You might feel your chest expand in a way that you hadn't noticed until you paid attention. You might feel, oh, hey, my belly goes more up and out than it does necessarily straight out. As you exhale, you might notice that the air, instead of being cold and tickly, that it's more like warm and fuzzy. You also might notice as you're just breathing in and out, just like normal, paying attention to that breathing, you might notice that your mind wanders, that you think thoughts or feel feelings, or notice physical sensations, because that's what our minds do. Not only is it expected, it's normal and healthy that your mind would wander while I'm asking you to just pay attention to your breath. As you notice that your mind wanders while you're breathing and paying attention to that breathing, I don't want you to try and push the thought away or not think it or not feel that feeling. I want you to just notice that thought. And you can just kind of tag it as like, oh, a thought. Hey, there comes a feeling. And after you've noticed the thought or the feeling or the sensation, you need to reorient, refocus your attention back on your breathing. So, there went a thought. Breathing in, feeling the air coming into my nostrils. And you can really be pointed. What's really helpful in reorienting your attention back to your breathing is to focus on where in your body you feel your breath most. For me, it's right kind of in the middle of my chest. Other people, it's in their belly or as the air comes in or out. But just as you're reorienting your attention, turn it back to wherever you feel your breath most. There's a thought, there's a feeling. Breathe in, feeling my chest expand, and out. So I'm going to be quiet for just a moment, and I want you to continue breathing in and out and noticing whatever internal experience you might notice. Okay, go ahead and you can open your eyes now. That is a mindful meditation, focusing on breathing. And I did a lot more talking and explaining than you would necessarily have to continue doing. You can do it on your own. There's guided meditations that you can use. But once you get the hang of it, you don't need somebody kind of telling you quite so much of all the different components there. And so that was simple enough, right? You can see how I'm paying attention to the right here and right now, both what I'm doing, breathing, and the thoughts, feelings, and sensations that I'm having in the right here and right now. I'm not getting tied down to them. I'm not trying to push them away. So although mindfulness is pretty straightforward, pretty simple, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily easy. It doesn't necessarily come natural to us. I know it does not come naturally to me. And so it takes a lot of practice. Acceptance, willingness, mindfulness is something that you have to practice. And you have to practice it consistently, lots and lots. But it's good and useful practice, and I encourage you to do so. There are tons of books and YouTube videos and apps and CDs, if you're super old school, that can help you with mindfulness and meditations and other mindful activities. If it exists as an activity, you can do it mindfully. And so I encourage you to find something, to look into it, Google it, and find something that rings true to you. Find something that you find useful. I have an app that I use that's my favorite thing. It's called Smiling Mind, and it's free, and I think it's available for both Android and iPhone. And it's great. It has short little activities. It has longer ones. It has all different sorts of themes. It's ones for sleep. It has ones for kids of different, they're broken up by age groups. So it's a really great option. You can track your mood, and you can set notifications for it to remind you to practice at whatever frequency you want to, however many times a day or week that you want to practice mindfulness. So I encourage you to check all of that out, and I encourage you to stay mindful about what your internal experiences are and to let them come and let them go as you may be feeling overwhelmed or distressed at this moment in history. I really appreciate you watching. I hope that you found this video useful. I hope you're able to incorporate it into your daily life, and I look forward to talking to you all soon. Take care.